What up, Flow Squad? Are you having driveline vibrations? Now I got a solution for you. Let's get this thing started.
This video was brought to you by K-Flow's Crib, your #1 resource for Tacoma DIY projects. Make sure you smash that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that bell too so you're up to date with my latest video releases. All the tools and materials used in this video will be on my Amazon affiliate storefront. You can find that at amazon.kflow-crib.com.
This issue is actually a pretty common issue with a lift kit installed on your Toyota Tacoma. Now, why does it vibrate? Let's talk about that real quick. So the drive shaft of the Tacoma is a 2-segment drive shaft. By installing a lift kit, you're actually lowering the rear diff. So let's look at this diagram of the drive shaft from the side to show you what I'm talking about.
Here's a general diagram of the drive line with the transmission here, the drive shaft here, and the rear diff here. When we lift the truck, we actually lower the rear diff, which changes the angle here between the 2 drive shaft segments, and here between the rear drive shaft and the differential.
Now I'll show you a series of fixes that you can do on your Toyota Tacoma to reduce driveline vibrations and even stop it completely. We'll start off with the easiest mod you can do, which is the carrier bearing or center support bearing drop. And let's get to that now.
Let's undo the 14mm bolts, but not completely. Let's hang them down by about a ½ inch. Now let's remove one bolt completely and then install a spacer and the new hardware, which is a new bolt, lock wash and washer, and keep it hand tight for now. We'll do the same thing at the opposite side. Now let's snug down the new hardware using a 17mm socket. These new bolts have a larger head. Now finally, let's torque down those bolts to 27 foot-pounds.
Now why does this fix work? Because right now, by dropping that center support bearing, you're actually straightening out the drive shaft.
Let's look at the diagram again. When we lower the center support bearing, it does increase the angle between the 2 segments, getting it closer to the OEM angles.
Now at this point, if you're still having vibrations, the next mod you can do is the angle shim install on your rear axle. It's installed in the same exact way as how you would install a rear add a leaf kit onto your rear leaf springs. Now in summary, that installation goes like this.
So the first thing we're going to do is chock the front of the truck. Now we can jack her up at the diff as high as we can and then rest the frame onto tall jack stands. I removed the wheels, then I slowly lower the axle onto jack stands. Now we can work on removing the shocks. Now we can work on removing the lower axle brackets. We should now be able to pull off the U-bolts and the bump stop. Now I work on removing the leaf spring. It does require a little bit more use of the pry bar for the front and the rear of the leaf spring until it does come off completely from the truck. Here's what the leaf spring looks like when it's off of the truck. We use one C-clamp at each side of the center bolt and compress the springs tight. Undo the nut and bolt that hold that leaf pack together. Here is where we install our angled shim. We make sure that the fat side of the wedge is at the rear of the leaf springs. Then we secure the leaf pack and angle shim with a new center bolt, cut off the excess, and reinstall the whole thing back onto the truck.
If you want the full detail of that installation video, make sure you check out the description below because I will be linking that over there as well.
Now let's go back to the diagram. Even though we already lowered the center support bearing, it does not significantly change the angle at the rear diff. We correct that by adding the angle shim at the rear with the fat side oriented towards the back. This rotates the rear working angle closer to the original OEM rear working angle.
Now to summarize everything that you've learned here, the first thing you'd want to do is lower that center support bearing, and that will be the easiest thing to tackle first. And the next thing you'd want to do is add the angle shims on the rear diff and make sure that the fat side is at the back, because that's what's going to get the rear diff closer to OEM angles as how that drive shaft was balanced. Now if you're still having trouble, then the best thing you can do is remove the drive shaft, take those two segments apart, and then shove it up your ass, because you're buddy. You should not have lifted your truck. Now I'm just kidding, guys, don't get your panties tied up in a knot. This just means that you're going to need more professional help, because this is going to be beyond your capabilities as DIYers. So what you'll need to do is take your drive shaft to the local driveline shop and have them rebalance it, and then you should be good to go. So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you find it useful. Make sure you smash that like and subscribe button if you haven't yet. And until next time, peace out.
If you guys liked this video, please consider supporting my channel by purchasing an item from my Amazon affiliates page. Go to amazon.kflow-crib.com. I do receive a small percentage of the sales, so it does help me make better content for you guys. Also, you can further support my channel by becoming a Patreon patron. Go to patreon.kflow-crib.com to find out how. Thanks guys, and have a great day.